The Bible is for me.
Must have been love, but it's all over now.
When are we doing the Bible is Funny album? You know,
it's just going to be
just
like
covers.
It's just sound effects essentially because we don't do the whole song.
It's kind of a great idea because nobody wants a full song. Like,
nope, not from you.
Most people don't.
Not from
they
me
want
either.
just a little bit of it, and
Yeah.
then just enough to get them also singing it, and then move on, do the next song.
Yeah, they know they don't. I know they don't want a full song from me. You don't know that they don't want a full song from you.
I think they don't know that they do want a full song from me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Until we drop the album.
Yeah, until the album comes in.
The Bible is Funny, the album.
I like the little bits. Do you? Okay, this kind of falls in line with a question I was thinking about. There are occupations that like you do all day long, and then you go home and you also have to do them.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about those. Like, what does that feel like? Like for a garbage man to go
To take out his
to work
garbage.
and then take out his own garbage.
Yeah.
Like, is he like, yeah, I'm an expert in this, or I don't want to do this one more freaking time?
That one.
I mean, that's the garbage. I imagine nobody likes that. But if you're
No, it's for
like,
all.
if you're a baseball player, do you go home and you go like, well, kid wants to have a catch, huh? Just spent all day throwing this ball. Do I want to do that one more time?
Now that's a good, that's a good one. I grew up, I feel like he'd be fine with me saying this. I had, my stepdad is a chef, pretty accomplished chef. And
Yeah.
we ate a lot of hot dogs.
Well, yeah, but that's what I
A
mean.
lot
Like,
of hot dogs.
if you're like a marriage counselor
Yeah.
and then you go home and you get in a fight with your spouse, you're like,
Right.
well, you gotta put the boots back on and like get
Yeah.
back to work again.
Yeah. It's like you do it all day.
But there are some occupations where that's like impossible. You're an astronaut. Your job is to float around in space. You can't do that at home. That must be great.
But what if this is a good video idea or a good sketch idea because you're like the astronaut and you don't. You're like, oh, I'm home now, and the kid's like, is that a shooting star? I don't know. Okay, I did all day with this. Sorry, Paul.
It's probably another satellite. It's always another satellite.
Like the most stand-up comedians.
Sorry,
I wonder,
Paul. I like
Yeah.
that Paul is what we call our
it was a
astronaut
Southern
fathers.
astronaut. Yeah, I feel like stand-up comedians, it got to be to some degree. Like,
Right. This is my context of like, well, I go home and I get to be funny, but also there's kind of an expectation to be funny. Not
Now's the
from my
time.
wife. She is very well aware and has told me multiple times that I'm not. So that doesn't ring quite true. But there was a while where like I'm dealing with spreadsheets all day long, and then my wife's like, "Hey, I don't do the spreadsheets and the numbers. Can you do mine?"
Yeah.
And do that one more freaking time. Or fixing stuff at the house, like you're a handyman, and then you come home and you're like, I gotta fix this now.
That I think I honestly think that one's the realest. Like the people I know that are usually like super handy doing stuff all day, their houses are usually the ones that are like, yeah, I'm not working on this anymore. I got a house over here and I gotta do this, then I get home and it's like, why is your kitchen faucet just spraying up into the air?
Because I gave up. That's why. Anyway, just, stuff to think about.
Yeah, or if you were a doctor and your kid got sick and you're like, I can't. I did this all day.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, you're expected to be that thing. And then you're like,
you want me to check your temperature? How about I check your insurance? You got your insurance card on you? Okay, no. Check your own temperature because I'm off the clock. That's what I imagine doctors say in their home.
Yeah, and that's how you would speak to your wife, right? And your kids.
Yeah, well, only around medical issues for sure.
That's true.
Somehow I have the energy of an at-home doctor, and I'm not a doctor when I'm away from home.
No, you're just already frustrated. Pre-medically frustrated.
Did you have a glass of water and lay down? Did you have a Gatorade and lay down? Then you should be fine. By the flow chart, you should be fine. Maybe you didn't lay down long enough. Is one of my consultations. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. My name is Anthony. That's Tim.
Hey.
Special guest today, Tim Wyckoff. Give it up for him, everybody.
First time First time listener.
God, we finally worked it out with your
Long time.
schedule. You could be here.
Yeah, it worked out fine. I do have to go in about 10 minutes, so.
Okay, perfect. We'll make this a quick one.
Yeah.
We are back with another episode of The Church is Funny. Church Stories.
Churches are funny.
Churches are funny. Church Stories. Calling this Church Stories Part 2. We asked you to submit church stories to us. And the second we dropped the first one, we got a lot of feedback, got some stories right away. We're going to continue to ask. I actually have a prompt I want to try for the next one.
Okay.
So I'm going to give like a specific area for story and see what we get.
Okay.
This is kind of a new segment. We're feeling all this out.
Yeah, I don't know anything about any of these anyway. I haven't seen a single submission. All I know is from the last podcast.
Sort of love that. I get to kind of surprise you with all these.
Yeah.
But little intro. I mean, basically, you get it. The church has so many things that happen and we say the church. There's all kinds of churches in all kinds of communities, and we want to hear all the stories. So that's what we're open to hearing. We want to get them in. I don't know what was going on at the church at the time. Just send them to us. We got one of last time we had a story of just a random guy who happened to walk up on a church and he was having a bad day, and it was a pretty darn good story. Yeah. So that's what we're open to, and that's what we'll be sharing here today.
Yeah, and we're familiar with the church, but if you have like a synagogue or a mosque story that seems similar, I say bring it.
I'd love to hear it.
It's probably going to be very similar.
I would imagine.
Whatever other structure people worship.
House church.
Yeah.
There's those.
Yeah.
You've got those really cool men's Bible studies that meet at the pub.
I think there's some caves like in like the southwestern United States where people have religious ceremonies. So I would say if you have a funny story from that.
From your cave.
From your cave
church?
Yeah.
That would be really like getting in the feel of like, in Bible times there was a lot of caves.
That's what I'm saying is like, it's not the church structure. It's kind of what happens there.
Yes.
And like, so, or the structure, like facility structure. I'm just saying like.
That's what I'm obsessed with, because we talked about this some last time. It's just like, this is a gathering for spiritual purposes. But it is a bunch of human beings that do the gathering.
Or youth groups, because there's no spiritual purpose to those.
That's not true. You drink your Mountain Dew through a sock as commanded by Leviticus.
This is the adrenal gland of Christ.
That's the juxtaposition I love. Is this spirit? There's a spiritual sense, and for me personally, I love church. I think it's great. I think there's something really special about it. But it is full of human beings, and so we get stories like the ones we're about to tell you. Couple of themes for today that I prepared for you, Tim. I'm gonna start off nice and chill. Well, no, I'm not. Start off a little hot.
Wow.
That's right. I have an opening story section, and I'm starting with this one. This one comes from Sister Jessica. I know you love that. My best friend lied to our youth leader and said she had her license and could move his car for him. Picture, if you will, a very large Baptist campus. He parked on the one side and needed his car, but he was working on the sound booth or something, and he couldn't leave. Long story short, she accidentally drove his car straight into the wall of the church cemetery.
Oh my, yes.
I'm certain the church elders did not rest in peace that day.
Oh my Lord. I would leave the car there if I was her and never go back to the youth group again. And then all he can do is say, yeah, I let somebody else drive my car, and then hope that somebody believes him.
Right.
Because otherwise his car is the one sitting in the wall of the cemetery.
Reading the story, I did think some about the next steps of like, you got to call your insurance company. I'm going to take a leap here and say, you're going to say you were driving.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know that you're going to lead with an unlicensed teenager.
Yeah.
My local church was driving. So now you have to own this to an insurance adjuster and go like, yep, I drove right into the wall of a church cemetery.
You know, I think I would say that somebody hit me. I would pull the car away and say something hit me. I would lie. I'm saying it.
Well, I did too. I'm curious, because I don't think this ends really well in any way if you tell the truth.
No.
Like and maybe they did. Maybe good for them. Maybe they told the truth and said, I made a big mistake and just were out the money for the damages on the car and the cemetery wall. But yeah,
I hope it was like just the wall of like the perimeter and not like this is the wall of a mausoleum for someone in the cemetery. Like this is built kind of for them.
The range of stories too, when you're like, it's a church cemetery. Was there like a disgruntled family member that wasn't invited to the funeral and this was their way of making a statement? Like, why did this happen? And then you're like, oh, because
Pastor Bob let Rebecca drive his car.
This really is.
Oh, that's a good one.
As far as it went. Okay, that's my opener. I got a couple.
I have to add this because my sister drove my dad's car through our garage door when it was shut. And it's not relevant to this situation. I mean, it kind of is because it's a car story, but it's one more time where I get to make fun of my sister for driving the car through the garage door. And I get to do that about every Thanksgiving and Christmas and whenever we gather. And so this is one more place where I can say that my sister drove a car through the garage door.
Yeah.
She was like 15. She drove a car through the garage.
Shout out. Got to bring that up when you can.
Love you, Rock.
Yep. Well done. Here's your next story. This comes from Sister Anna. In middle school, we played a game where we were missionaries and had to smuggle Bibles, which of course were plastic knives representing the sword of the Spirit,
right,
to the other side of the building. If you were caught by the border patrol, you had to surrender your haul and start over if you couldn't recite a Bible verse.
What?
So you're essentially like LARPing being a missionary, I guess.
Right?
Like
that's odd, guys. That's not normal. That's not a normal thing to do. If you're in a church now and somebody's making you do that, that's different. I know there's a lot of different practices out there. If you get caught, then do you go to the hell house afterward?
I think if you get caught and you're holding like a Harry Potter book, you end up in the hell house. If you get caught holding a Bible, you go to the happier part of the hell house, maybe.
Okay, so you have to just get across. It's like capture the flag meets like some sort of camp judgment hellscape meets some of the apocalyptic movies we've been watching on the other segment of our podcast.
Right.
Gosh.
I don't know. I think if you find yourself in the position where you're making like a silly middle school game out of something where people die and like it's like an actual thing where people are like imprisoned or die.
Right.
Maybe we do. I never thought I'd say this, but actually maybe do the soda through the sock. In this case, if you have these two as an option, you can talk about the realities of religious persecution in parts of the world. I think that's okay, but I don't know that we make a silly game out of it.
Yeah, to gamify that is certainly something different. I mean, it's also kind of on brand in general for youth groups to do that stuff.
I remember. Speaking of kind of LARPing a religious situation, I remember we did a house, and this is a really cool organization we've actually partnered with in the past. I believe it was a compassion experience.
Okay.
And it had to do with the reality of like AIDS in other countries. And you ended up like going through this thing and got this like, it was pretty, a lot of it was very thoughtful. And I'm sure for most people even it was like a fine thing. If you got AIDS in this scenario, you had to like sit in this room and somebody had to come get you that was the instructions. And the group I was with, I don't think fully understood the instructions. So I sat there for far too long in the AIDS room and was just like, what, do I just leave myself at here? Like I was told to wait till somebody gets me. I think they've moved on. I think they're on to another thing. And I'm still sitting here. And so, but then I was like, no, Aunt, like you're not taking this serious. You should be thinking.
Yeah.
But then eventually I just got up.
Did they forget about you?
They forgot about me. And they were like, oh, someone was supposed to go back and get you? It's like, yeah,
Yeah. Mission accomplished, though, with the lesson they were trying to teach you.
I think we all got it.
Yeah.
But we didn't all get it.
Oh.
But I think we all got it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like I've heard like similar simulations where they're like, oh yeah, you have a card with an STD in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then you go and interact with all these other people and it shows how quickly all these STDs can spread. So keep it in your pants.
Yeah.
You know.
To this day, it's why Tim won't high five anyone, because he's got a very misguided understanding of how this thing spread.
Well, fist bump all day long, though.
I don't like the way you said that. All right, 2 more quick ones. I loved this one. One time, this is just quick, but it's a moment. You maybe experienced a moment like this at church with the communion. One time I was taking Sister Caitlin shouts out. One time I was taking communion and had to sneeze. The grape juice got all over my white outfit, and my friend and I couldn't stop laughing.
That falls into the church giggles compartment and the communion compartment. That's great.
I also like the kind of reddish, and somebody goes after the service goes, "Do you get blood all over your shirt?" And you're like, kinda. But I'm Baptist, so it's grape juice. One more quickie. This is Sister Jamie. I was working in the sound booth at the time, and at the end of the service, the pastor asked everyone to stand for prayer. There was a couple sitting in front of us, and the wife slips her hand into the back pocket of her husband's jeans and squeezed a few times.
Oh,
talk about laying of hands. That's Jamie's words.
So I thought that was your emphasis.
We talked about this. People in the sound booth do be seeing everything.
Yeah.
Because they have that view. No one thinks that they can be seen, but the people in the sound booth,
they know.
Whatever you think you're doing at church and nobody sees. The people.
And if you think the heads are bowed and the eyes are closed, sound booth people are not head bowing, eyes closing.
Are you for real about that? Right
Yeah.
now?
I kind of stopped doing it too.
What?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Pastor's pals don't peek, but I'm no longer one of those. I'm an adult.
You're an enemy of the pastor? You're no longer a pal?
That doesn't mean I'm an enemy of the pastor. It just means
you're forsaking your vow as a pastor's pal?
I'm in the neutral zone.
I don't think there is on this one. You're either a pal or you're a foe.
Then sign me up for being a foe. I peek all the time.
You're either a pastor's pal or a friar's foe. And you've chosen your side. Mm-hmm. All right, here's our themed portion of the podcast today. I think I covered all the beginning ones. Okay. See, there's 2 different sections for themes, and these are just this. We're just dealing with the stories that came in, and I just thought these 2 pockets need to be represented. One came from Sister Adrian. We attend a very small church, which averages about 50 per Sunday. Most of the congregation is elderly. One Sunday, one of the ladies of our church was not there, and word spread around the congregation that she had passed. Mm-hmm. Everyone was very sad that morning. And it was a real shock to all of us when she came to church the following week.
Oh, no.
I really feel like if you've been a part of these small country churches, that's very real. One person's not there, and everybody goes like, where are they?
I like that the assumption is, dead. I mean,
right.
People be dying. But somebody had to start that.
Somebody had to start. But also, I worked in an ALF, and I worked in the dining room, and I know this experience somewhat because someone doesn't come down to dinner, and you're like,
well,
not a lot of reasons people don't come to dinner. And so you're like going around trying to be like, I'm sure that table's empty for a nice reason.
Who wants to check on them?
So I love the idea that you get these rural communities and everybody's just, oh man, this really bummed. Wouldn't shock me if some prayers went up for the family, and then the next morning the next week she just walks in. But
then we could do like a Lazarus sort of miracle story along with that, right? Yeah. I think that opens itself up for yet another sermon.
Everything's a sermon illustration if you try hard enough. And
that's why I brought you here today. It's about trying. Some level of effort. It's what God wants.
That's
my sermon.
I'm not trying. Was that an attack?
If you think it's trying, then okay.
Our next story comes from Mary Jane.
Sure it does.
It does. It's her name. She says, I was strictly raised Baptist. 16 years of my life. Spent just about every day at this small Baptist church. The closest people to my age were my parents. This is a little bit of a theme. Some of these small churches. My grandpa is a pastor of Assembly of God. Baptists and assemblies are very different in their beliefs when it comes to the Holy Ghost. Nobody informed me of this. Please don't leave any comments about that statement because I have no idea. Most of the services were the same, but during this service, everybody started dancing, hollering, speaking in tongues. And I was already freaking out because this is not how Baptists do it. Then I watched my grandpa drop before my eyes, face first on the floor, and everybody cheered. I freaked out and yelled for someone to call 911. I was panicking. I was super confused why we were cheering, and I very much was convinced he had either a heart attack or a stroke.
Oh my Lord.
I assumed something had just killed him in front of my eyes, and my dad ran over and was like, go next door. I'll explain everything. So my aunt, who grew up in assembly, came over and gave me a crash course on the Holy Spirit and how it moves. And he finally, when he finally came to, he was fine. I was bawling my eyes out because I assumed I had just watched him drop dead. We all laugh about it now, but a little heads up would have been nice.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't know if you're going to be taken over by the Spirit, right? How would you know? Can you predict it?
I think, here's what I think based on her story is a good policy. When you reach over a certain age, you should give some kind of disclaimer.
Yeah, I have appreciated that when I've like jumped into another church. Like, hey, this is how we do things. This is how we do our communion.
Right. But even specifically, like, it's one thing when a healthy 30-something is doing something and then ends up down, or, you see the healers and they fall back and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't ever think about their well. But at a certain age, I go...
Oh, you're saying at a certain age of the person.
I'm saying at a certain age of the person, we gotta have other considerations as to, like, okay, they fell, and falls are serious.
Yeah, it sounded from that story. It sounded like he was out for a bit. And
I don't know finally came to.
I don't know how common that is either. That's not the faith group I grew up with.
Right.
Do you routinely get just knocked out in this process, or did the falling actually kind of knock him out?
That's a good question.
Because if you commit yourself to that fall,
face first, she said.
Yeah,
that would be, if I'm her. My grandparent just fell face first. I'm not reading.
Yeah,
this is fine.
Yeah, and I'm not doing that at my age even. I don't even want to get on the floor.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. So I wonder if there's an assigned person in these. Please weigh in if this is a real thing. Is there an assigned person who, like,
does a little pulse check?
Just is like, it keeps the vibes like, hey, okay, we good.
Yeah, I think it's like
we're all right. Keep it rocking.
Yeah, there's got to be like a wedding coordinator or something that says like this was scripted. Everything's cool.
This is fine. He's fine. Or like, keep dancing, everybody. We gotta get him.
This
is actually a situation.
Get the dolly.
You weekend at Bernie's him till the end of the service.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Keep moving. Keep grooving. Or you have those congregations that do the snake handling, Like, is anybody on, like, medical awareness at all? Or are we, is there a contingency plan in place? I'm just curious. I don't know. Now, like you said, I didn't grow up in it. I'm not aware.
And do you think somebody, like, is there a snake expert in the building that's like, we got to keep an eye on which one bit him so we can have the anti-venom just in case?
Yeah. Almost like the hockey guy that's on the bench in case one of the sticks breaks, but he's got the anti-venoms. And he's like, is it the viper? Okay. Is it the rattlesnake? Okay. He's ready.
Just in case.
Shoots the anti-venom. Everybody's healthy. I don't know why it's in a gun. So my theme for those two was thinking somebody was dead. Because they thought the first lady was dead.
Got it.
And the other guy was dead. All right. This one, this is my last theme, and it has levels. There's like a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is this. This is from Brother Craig. Several years ago, I was leading worship, and we were about to sing "The Blood Will Never Lose Its Power." I encouraged the congregation to listen to the words written by Andre Crouch. The unfortunate thing is his last name is Crouch. Andre Crouch.
Yeah.
And in front of the whole congregation, he said Andre Crouch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these that are out there. If you've never seen any of these clips, it's pretty great.
Yeah. Oh, I love watching a good, like, pastor giving some sort of sermon or illustration, and then they slip and they say some word that they wouldn't normally say, but then they catch themselves. And the worst thing you can do is go back and correct yourself,
right?
Because that means you caught it and you knew it, and then it's going to be in your head, and now you've kind of highlighted it for your audience, and they go, "Wait, did you just say that word?" And then you go, "No, yeah, I mean I did," and then you just get the giggles.
Are you a fan? Is it a genuine question in this type of moment of gaslighting? Like, go like you didn't say it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In the moment,
yeah.
I'm okay with you owning it after, but I do think my recommendation for public speakers typically is, depending on how bad it is, like, try to roll and just pretend like you didn't say it.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I got notes for people, but yeah, I would say normally don't just go over it unless it's really funny,
right?
And then capitalize on that and help yourself be less nervous. But also, you know what I don't like is when people go, "Sorry guys, I'm really nervous today," or "This is my first time speaking," or "I've got a sore throat." So like, don't name the thing that I'm going to be now paying attention to.
Right.
Like, don't tell me you're nervous. Just do the thing. Everybody's nervous.
Right.
You just made yourself more nervous, and everybody is keenly aware of this. And now we're all tense that you're going to do something weird when you're nervous. So public speaking 201.
I do think this is ramped up at a church because you're like a pastor. A lot of times, like there are certainly some that go into it because they love the public speaking and they love to be in front of people talking. There's plenty that like teaching the Bible and they like helping people and they like counseling. And then it's like, oh, by the way, there's a lot of public speaking that goes along with this. I love like announcement people too. Like it's just you got to do it every single week. You got a lot to say. You got a lot. This isn't your only job. A lot of the times, you got a lot of other things going on. It's not like some really tight TED talk that you're prepared to do. So you get these mispronunciations. My favorite one, and we can move along because I won't explain it here. I'll let you go look it up. But when the guy's talking about pitching your tents certain places, just that like his attempt to recover from that is just golden. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I hope he leads with like, I have a sermon that's been viewed 100 billion times because of the sermon, probably. No one can be sure 100%. I have a couple of these that I wanted to highlight. Andre Crouch was version 1 from Brother Craig. Brother Cole sent this one that really made me giggle. One time my mom was attending a service when the preacher announced the passage to the congregation and said, "Everyone please turn to the book of glasses while I get out my Peter." That's good. I love that one because really it's good. Very honest. I feel like that. Some of these, you're like, I don't know if that really happened, but that one, you're like, that one really could. Yeah. I like to think that he went over in his head several times. I'm gonna say it the right way. Right. I'm gonna say it the right way, and then it just got in his head too much. Yeah. Sometimes you have like a name or a word that's close to a word, and so you're just like, well, this is easy. I'll just be like, don't say this, don't say this, and then you say it. Everybody turn to glasses while I get out my Peter. All right, and this is where we conclude today. This is I don't know that I've ever, full context included, just to set up the story a little bit. I don't know that I've ever heard or thought about like a worse mix-up of words, which is the theme I wanted to end on today, was in a church context, mixing up words. All right. Buckle up. This comes from Sister Melissa, who shared a very tender moment with us. And I want to thank her for that. So when I was doing a tour of my church as part of the volunteering orientation, and they showed us the kids section, and they were telling us the rules. Like, you cannot pick up their kid without, like a parent cannot pick up their kid without bringing the identification sticker.
Right.
So we won't give you your kid.
Right.
Maybe you're familiar with this type of system. And they just were talking about security. The team was reinforcing the volunteers were very strict on
It's like
that.
picking up your coat at a fancy event.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to get the wrong coat.
So sweet Melissa says, I experienced this once, and I thought it would be kind of funny to share my experience. So I said, yeah. This is what I said in my head. This is what Melissa said in her head. Yeah, it happened to me, and where I went to try to pick up my kid, and I had to fill out so much paperwork. It was like filling out adoption paperwork to get my own daughter back. That's what she said in her head. Out loud, she fumbled and said, I had to fill out so much paperwork. It was like I was filling out abortion paperwork.
Oh, boy.
To get my daughter back.
Oh, boy.
She stops. Hard silence over the whole room. She says, I meant adoption.
Oh, no.
Adoption paperwork.
Oh, boy.
I got quiet. The group got quiet. I'm pretty sure God still lays awake at night thinking about this moment on my behalf.
Of all the places to say that. Oh, God.
Literally read that story and died inside.
Yes,
This poor woman.
I think my body temperature just rose 3 degrees.
Everything.
I'm sweating now on Melissa's behalf. Oh, boy.
She was denied as a volunteer, I'm sure, moments later. Yeah, something came up in the background check. Sorry. Probably go find a different church, Melissa.
Oh, boy.
That's painful. But listen, what I want to say to Melissa is this.
You're brave, and thank you.
I'm so glad you shared this story. And there are those of us that make jokes. And that's showbiz, baby.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you make a joke and it goes horribly. And that's showbiz. You got to keep making the jokes, Melissa. Don't let this get you down.
That's funny. During a show, it was a improv show in 2003. I was on the road and I made a similar joke. I mean, you're improv. Have you done it before? So you're flying at the seat of your pants. We're in front of a couple hundred people.
Make stuff up.
Yeah, it's a kind of a game thing. Anyway, I'll tell you about it later. So we're doing this scene, and I'm in this scene with my buddy Joe, and I made some comment. I meant to say something totally different. I forget exactly what it was, but I meant to say I should have left you in the car, and I said something I should have I should have left you in the womb, or should have gotten rid of you in the womb, or something.
Oh gosh!
And this is in a comedy show, and I was like, oh, and it didn't hit me what I said right away, and then everybody on stage stopped, and everybody looked at me, and I was like, what? What do you mean? And I thought I had said the thing the right way. So Melissa, at least you caught yourself. And they I got blasted on stage, and then it hit me later what I said, and we were at a church doing this performance, and dear heavens, I did not mean to say that.
Melissa,
but it's, again, like you said, it's show. You got to go on. You're taking big swings for whatever joke is out there, especially in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's still a stage in a tour. Everywhere is a stage. If you're funny,
that's right.
Go be funny everywhere.
That's right.
And hopefully, Melissa, you're still being funny.
I think she is. The fact that she shared this, I'm so thankful. This one really made me giggle.
Yeah, mine almost made me quit the whole tour at that point. It was real bad. I got real shamed for it, as I deserved.
Yeah. I can remember a Florida Torta show even recently where I said something and then said it multiple times. I couldn't stop saying it.
Oh yeah, you did.
We don't know. That one's too recent.
Good thing we quit those shows, though.
Melissa, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for carrying on. These are great. There was about 5 other miss-saying ones that were within there, but those are the ones I wanted to highlight. That's Church Stories Part 2.
Save them for next time.
Yeah, we got more. We could probably hit that section every time. Okay, here's what I want to say. Here's my little prompt for our next version of this podcast?
Go to church.
Go to church
now.
Every day.
Start writing down
until
everything
something
that's
funny happens.
Stay there.
I want to hear stories connected to or adjacent to like baby dedications or christenings. Like something in that category. Something that happened in like a baby being presented to the church family.
Don't say dropped the baby on stage. That's not funny.
Yeah, I don't want that to have happened. But yeah.
But honestly, if it did happen and the baby's okay, please tell us about it because that's gonna be hilarious.
A little like fumble would be
just a little.
But like as long as everyone's okay.
Not straight down.
As long as everyone's okay.
Yeah, if the baby didn't go like straight down to the ground, but like kind of like we fumbled it and like kicked it and tried to catch it.
Yeah.
Then, oops. Yeah, just one of those.
Hacky sacked.
Yeah, accidentally hacky sacked a baby. That's the kind of story I want to hear.
That'd be great. I'm looking for a baby dedication, christening, baby in front of church story. That's my prompt for our next church stories segment. And I literally can't thank you enough. These are all coming from the Bible is Funny family, and they're so good. I'm so happy with how this is already becoming one of my favorite segments. So thank you for participating and for being vulnerable and sharing your moments with us.
I like that it's one of your favorite segments, and we have 3.
It's a top 3 segment for me.
Yeah. My oldest kid is one of my favorites.
It's one of the best. Yep. Right. Yeah. You can send those stories to @TheBibleIsFunny. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, @TheBibleIsFunny. Just find a way to send it to us.
MySpace.
That's out there. Your space is. Mm-hmm. So if you can find Tim's space, you can send it to him there.
Just look for people who are friends with Tom. And
Tom is the guy.
In that list.
You know Tom.
Yeah. You know.
Tom and Tim.
Know Tom.
You guys are way back. All right. I think that's all I got for today. You can get Bible's Funny hats at the link. Bible's Funny podcast hats. We got a couple hat options because we both love hats. So you're going to find a hat you like. Go check it out. Bible's Funny card game, volume 1 and 2. You can get those. Check it all out at the link in the show notes. And that's it. Come back here with another episode really soon and tell you more of your funny stories. Okay. Talk to you then. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.